Welcome to the 208th episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on November 27th, 2020. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and 50% of this here show with me is the guy who is still digesting a gut full of turkey, Carlos Rodella.
Well, I don't think that's true, but
did you finish digesting?
I finished digesting A. B, I had soy nuggets.
That's almost just like turkey.
It's like turkey. Tastes like chicken, and stuffing and no, I didn't have potatoes. I had stuffing and biscuits and broccoli. So close, but not so close.
Did you have this particular dinner all by your lonesome, since we are still under the onus of coronavirus, or did you go anywhere? Do you have a pod of people you could have with, or how did it go for you?
I need to make that pod thing. I don't have that. I have a few people that I see here and there, like monthly or something. But no, it was me, myself, and I, and my video games and my PS5. You know, I did have dinner with the PS5.
It's big enough to sit in its own chair.
It pretty much did. It took up like 2 chairs actually. And I was like, "You need to lose some weight, PS5." And it was like, don't body shame me. And I was like, PS5, it's because of that disk drive you put on the side of your belly.
Oh, it's got some junk in that trunk with that disk drive. Although I will say those fins need a trim, perhaps. But
and that's a haircut, so it's like a haircut and lose a couple pounds.
Ouch!
Weirdly enough, that's exactly what I need to do.
Well, you guys are in the same boat then, I guess.
Yeah.
Folks, tonight is a unusual show. This topic was sent in to us by a reader, Carlos Rudila? I don't know.
What?
That's a weird name. I don't know who sent this in. Do you know that guy?
I don't never heard of him. It sounds like a weird name.
Strange name. I don't know who that guy is, but he sent in this request that we do the top games of the PS4, since we are now, as you have, has heard us discussing, talking about the PS5. We are transitioning out of the PS4 era. We are leaving that good machine behind. But before we put the wraps on it, I think we're going to celebrate it a couple more times. And part of that is tonight. We're going to be talking about Carlos's top 10 games of the PS4, my top 10 games of the PS4. And I did put this question out to Twitter and our listeners, and we got crazy responses. We got so many responses. In fact, we got so many responses, I actually had to recruit my wife to help me tally them all up because it was too many for me to do by myself.
Well, you were doing tallying just like in the election.
I was, and I counted and I recounted, and then we wrapped it the fuck up, and then we moved on.
And then we moved on.
Moved the fuck on. So we have your top 10 listeners, and I gotta say, I think your top 10 will be probably wildly different than Carlos or mine. But that's what we've got on tap tonight. So we're not going to be talking about new games, not talking about games we played, just going to be focusing on what we think are our favorite experiences of the PS4. Carlos, does that sound like a plan to you?
That sounds good. I'm excited to send off the PS4. Again, not saying that people who have PS4s or PS4 Pros, you can keep buying games because they're going to keep making them. But for us, especially because we have so many games to review, we're going to be reviewing a lot of PS5 games. So
well, you are anyway. I still haven't gotten a fucking PS5. I can't find them anywhere. They're not in stock. They're not available. I did not put in a pre-order because A, I wasn't sure I wanted to, and B, I was broke. And now that I have some cash, they are not anywhere to be found. So I don't know when I'm going to get one.
Well, it doesn't matter because you review Switch games. Come on, let's just be honest.
That's true. I am Mr. Switch. All right, so that is what we got on tap tonight. I say let's hit it, Carlos. And since this is your topic, why don't we start off with you? Now, folks, before we get started, just heads up. I have 10 games, and Carlos has 10 games. Carlos's 10 games are in order, so he's going to be starting with number 10 and working his way up to number 1. For me, I really struggled with this, and it really kind of depended on my mood and what I was going for, and I had all these criteria in my head. So I have 10 games, but they're not in any particular order. I'm not going to do a number 1 PS4 game all the time. I will just give you the top 10 games that I really like on the PS4, and they're not in order. So just keep that in mind.
And that's fine because I don't even know if mine are fully in order. Full disclosure, how I came up with this idea is I just decided to do a YouTube video about it, and we'll put a link in the show notes, maybe.
Yeah,
Brad Galloway?
We can do that.
And so I spent 2 hours and just drinking alcohol and trying to go through and make my top 10. And it was hard and difficult, and I swore a lot. I swore more than normal.
Is your number 3 Jack Daniels?
my number 1 through 10 is. But yeah, so it was like a weird experience. And so then when I got done with it, I was like, fine, we spent this long. Let's just go and order them, you know? But I might have been off. So I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'll do it in order, but some of these are, can switch around like yours.
Excellent. Okay, cool. And when we get to the listener votes, we had one winner that was a winner by a mile. There was like such a large gap between the number one and everything else. It's pretty fucking clear what you guys think is the best PS4 game. A couple close ones after that, and then we'll kind of go from there. So they're more or less in order. But just keep in mind, Carlos in order, mine are not. And I say, let's get started now. Carlos, if you would do us the honor, sir, what is your number 10 PS4 game?
Number 10. It's a staple. It's Fallout 4.
Fallout 4. All right. Why'd you choose that?
I mean, it's a strong game. I love the Fallout series. I mean, I can't not put it on my list because it's Fallout. For me, it's one of my favorite, genres as well as games and franchises or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, like I didn't really like the base building part of it, and they didn't really make you do that a lot. But the rest of the game, it's just Fallout. Like, again, how can it not be on my list? It's Fallout that I love. I love the kind of real-time turn-based action RPG. And the story wasn't amazing, but I didn't play it for that. I played it to get a hammer, level up said hammer,
Mr. Melee,
and just smash heads off. In video games, it's just video game violence, and that's all. And it's more of that. So for me, it's a pretty easy pick. If you have a Fallout game that comes out for your system, it's probably going to make one of my lists.
Excellent. So that is Fallout 4. Wonderful. My first game, and again, these are not in order, just whatever came first on my list. I'll pick one of the biggest ones. The Last of Us, number 1. I love that game because I think it tells a great story. I know a lot of people kind of go back and forth on the quality of the story, and especially about the ending. For me, I felt like it was all very well told. I liked the relationship between the two main characters, Joel and Ellie. I thought that was a good relationship. Felt very real in many points. I felt the story made sense, more or less. The ending I thought was really strong. I know a lot of people really hate the ending, but for me, it made perfect sense, and I really liked the way that it finished. And I will also say that I chose The Last of Us because the DLC, Left Behind, I think is one of the finest things I possibly have ever played in my life. I think the handling of the characters in that DLC is just phenomenal. It felt so real. It felt so human and so believable. It was just a wonderful piece of writing that happened to be in a game that I already thought was very good. So I think The Last of Us is great. Although I will say, just a quick side note here, since playing The Last of Us Part 2, I think I like The Last of Us a little less because I feel like it did kind of damage my memories of it a little bit. I know we talked about that when we discussed it on the show earlier about something that comes later kind of retroactively ruining something that you liked. And I feel it a little bit, dude. I feel like I like it a little bit less than I used to, which is too bad.
It's interesting. That happens with even Netflix shows or a series that you're watching.
Yeah.
Right. I think we talked about on this podcast where you watch season 3 of something and you're like, oh no, wait, fuck this show.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of. Did you ever watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah, totally.
Man, me and my wife were so into Buffy the Vampire Slayer when it came out. We watched, I think, all the way up to season 6 or whatever, and then once they brought on Buffy's sister that came out of nowhere and the weirdness that happened in that season, we just totally all of a sudden did not like that show anymore, and we never went back to it, and it kind of pooped on the rest of our memories of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's possible to retroactively ruin something, and I'm glad I didn't finish The Last of Us 2 because I feel like I probably would hate both games after that, and I didn't want to do that. So anyway, that aside, kind of a tangent there, apologize for that, but The Last of Us Part 1 is something that I think is really great. I think it's one of my favorite PS4 experiences, and I still think it's a good ride. It's a good ride.
So Last of Us is on the list.
Number 1, not number 2,
even
just
with
number 1.
Yeah, even with Last of Us 2 existing.
Yeah, but man, woo, that was close. Okay, cool. Carlos, let us go to your number 9, sir.
Okay, my number 9 has an asterisk.
Okay.
Already, we're getting into weird things.
Okay, caveats. What's that? Why the asterisk?
So it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
I probably played 150 hours, I think, around. It's like Witcher 3 style. It's a lot of hours. Yeah. And if you play that game, there's a reason because there's tons of loot, there's tons of DLC, and you can just keep going. It's ridiculous. And I really enjoyed Origins, and I like the new approach, which is essentially just like an open world RPG with kind of random loot, and I like the system, and they always built beautiful worlds. The asterisk is because I made this list before Valhalla came out. So now I'm playing Valhalla, and I like Valhalla's story better, and I like Valhalla's world better, and I'm also playing it on PS5, and it looks, like I mentioned before, redonkulous. So it's difficult. I kind of want to put both of those at number 9.
But if you're playing it on 5, do you feel like the 5-ness of that game is what's really selling it to you?
You're right.
Because there is a PS4 version, and if you were to put Valhalla PS4 next to Odyssey PS4, would that change your listing? Like, take the 5 factor out.
Got it. You know what? Asterisk is gone.
So stick with Odyssey then?
It's just Odyssey then. We're just doing PS4 straight. PS4 Odyssey, I spent so much time with. I love the world they build. Yeah, you're right. Good call. Like, Valhalla will be on PS5's list next year.
Seems like a lock. Sounds good. And actually, I'm glad you brought this up because I did mean to mention this at the beginning of the show, and I totally forgot. Apologies, folks. So, Carlos, I don't know about you, but as far as my list of these games go, these are not PlayStation 4 exclusives. I know that some people were telling us to make a list of exclusives, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that because, it's like, I don't really like a lot of the PlayStation 4 exclusives. I'm not sure if I would have been able to come up with 10 if I was sticking to PS4 exclusives. So for me, these are things that I played on PS4. They're available on PS4. Maybe a couple of these are available other places, PC, Xbox One, whatever. I'm not going to be that picky. Are you that picky, Carlos?
No.
Did you draw that line? No.
I didn't draw that line in the beginning either. It's like what did I play on PS4? And also, that being said, I played it on PS4 Pro. Most of them. I think most of them.
Okay.
And so then that actually was a reason why I was playing it on that system, to get the little bit of HDR or whatever, So
get that extra juice out of it, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to be clear about that, I don't want anybody writing in afterwards and saying, well, these are not PS4 exclusives. I totally get that. That's not what this list is. I mean, I that wasn't our goal. So if that bothers you, I apologize. But this is going to be the things that we played on PS4 that we loved on PS4. And we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
Okay.
And also, you don't need to apologize, Brett Galloway.
Well, sometimes, I just being polite. I love our listeners.
We're setting the rules, and it's PS4 games we played on the PS4. That's it.
That's it. That's exactly it. Okay, so you had Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I think I've bought that 3 times, and I haven't played it yet. I gotta play that. My next game. Oh man, one of my favorite games of all time, easily of all time. It makes its home on the PS4. Helldivers. I love Helldivers so much. I know you're not a fan, and that's totally fine. This is a game that is not for everybody, but it is 1,000,000% for me. This is the top-down, third-person, squad-based action with friendly fire on all the time. Super intense level of difficulty. It requires a super high level of teamwork and concentration. One of the most difficult things I've ever played, one of the most frustrating things, but also one of the most rewarding and just fucking awesome. Played Helldivers with my wife and my son, and we spent a lot of time just going through it. And in fact, I know that there's been some recent DLC that has increased the level of difficulty, which I thought was already pretty tough, but my wife and I actually went through the entire game on every single level of difficulty, and we did basically every single thing. The only thing we didn't do was there was an achievement where you had to kill, I think, 100,000 enemies, and I think I got 3/4 of the way there, and I just was like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to kill 25,000 more enemies.
Yeah.
But other than that, we did literally everything and just totally rinsed that fucking game. We had the best time, and in fact, I love Helldivers so much that I had a custom piece of art made for us as Helldivers. So it's on my living room wall.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's 3 Helldivers, and it's me, my wife, and my son. We're in this action pose. It's an amazing piece of art by my good friend Alex Connolly. I'm just so proud of it. I love that game. I love Helldivers. I wish the developers would do something else. I don't know what they've been doing with their time since then. They kind of vanished off the face of the earth, but I love Helldivers. Something fierce. That game is fucking amazing.
Yeah, for a game you like so much, we should definitely reach out to the developers and say, what's going on? What are you doing next? What's your next game?
I have a while ago, after I finished everything in Helldivers, I sent him an email, and I'm like, hey, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I sent him a picture of the art that we had made. I'm like, hey, look at this custom art I did. We love you guys. What are you guys working on? And they just didn't really have much to say. So maybe I should reach out to them again. I mean, I thought for sure they'd follow it up with something. They're so talented, but I don't know.
And by the way, I did not like that game. Or wait, I didn't. not like that game, but I enjoyed it. It just didn't, not to the level as you. You're like insanity for it.
I am insane a fan of that game. That is absolutely like so. But to be fair, I had the right setup, right? Like I always had at least one person because my wife was playing with me. My wife's an awesome player too, so I always had at least one person around. My son was old enough to play it efficiently. That helped, and the community in this game was great. Like it was extremely rare that we would find somebody online that was just like a griefer, you know, or like a troll.
Yeah.
Like people who play this game for a long time are really good at it, and they want other people to be really good at it, and so we had a lot of really good experiences. I played this one time with this guy who was from, I want to say he was from Taiwan. His name was Chicken Wang, which I thought was funny. He was like a super friendly guy, and he was a fucking ace at this game. And Chicken Wang and my son and my wife and I went through some of the hardest shit in this game, and it was just like an amazing time. Yeah. One of probably my favorite multiplayer experiences ever. So that's not easy to replicate, though. That's not the experience everybody's going to have, and I totally get that I was kind of in the pocket for this. So that probably helped it.
Cool.
Carlos, what is your next game? I believe we're up to number 8 for you.
Yep.
Number 8.
8 is Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds. All right. Tell
Outer
us why
Worlds.
you chose this.
Yeah, again, you can play this on other systems, but I played it on PS4. Again, similar to Fallout 4. I mean, if this developer is going to work on something, I'll play it. And I just love them, and I love the game and the world they built. And this is just up my alley. It's like first person, sound like a broken record, melee. Again, similar to
you
Fallout
know what you
4.
like. You got your preferences. You know your pocket.
Yeah, and I found a type of hammer in
Oh
this
my
game.
God, sir. Did you really?
I really did. And similar to Fallout, I went and bashed heads in, but also the story trees and the different decisions you make, and just the world, run around in spaceships, going to different planets. Each planet really feeling different and distinct, and the colors were really wonderful. And again, on the PS4 Pro, it looked amazing. That's before I had a PS5, and now I can't go back. I don't even know if it did look amazing. Who knows?
Looks like dog shit now. It
looks
terrible.
like poop.
How'd you ever play that?
I don't know. With blinders on, because now I have my PS5. Yeah, and it was really funny, and it was also one of those games where I really cared about, which you've heard about, I'm sure, in reviews, one of the NPCs quite a bit. Like someone who joins your party, you really, really follow her storyline and kind of help her out through emotional situations. And then, of course, you just go and kill a bunch of dudes. But it is fucking...
As you do.
As you do. And there's an AI robot, by the way, and which I always love games with some sort of AI in it. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I highly recommend that game. It'd be amazing if they did an update or like a Outer Worlds 2 for PS5. I would just be all over it.
Excellent. I tried that, and I kind of bounced off it, but I think I just wasn't in the mood. I actually have a copy of it. I'm going to try to come back to it once this fourth quarter madness wears out. But yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. I know you speak really highly of it. Yeah, I will.
Good.
We'll talk about it probably. Okay, so that was Outer Worlds for you. My next game for me is Grow Home. This was a very small kind of indie project that was created from an internal team at Ubisoft. A couple people at Ubisoft wanted to do something different. I don't know exactly the program that they had, but Ubisoft was doing something where their own employees could do these side projects, and this is one thing. Hit PC, then it hit PS4. It's the story of a little robot named Bud, and he is on a planet, and what he's supposed to do is grow a plant that starts at the surface of the planet all the way up to space where his ship is waiting for him. And so the whole game is just one giant level, and you're climbing like basically this giant beanstalk. It's kind of physics-based. You have to like help guide the plant to grow towards the sun so you can get the height that you need. You can climb it, you can glide, you can do all sorts of weird physics stuff on it. And it's just this really tiny, small experience that is also really experimental. It's really freeform. It's got a lot of heart to it. And I just thought it was just the most wonderful, like, indie experience. I love it so much. I beat it a couple times. My son still plays it occasionally. And we each actually had shirts made, so we do love Grow Home a pretty fair amount. It's just a wonderful little thing. I love it so much.
You guys really get the artwork and merchandise done from games you like.
You know what, though? I will tell you, the artist for this game, his name is Jack Cuvella from Ubisoft. He made a shirt for himself that was Bud the robot going back to school. And I'm like, oh, Jack. And he knew me because I like the game, right? So I'm like, Jack, I love that thing. Can I get a shirt like that? He's like, yeah. So we had some shirts made. There's only 3.
Cool.
of those shirts in existence, and we have 2 of them.
Whoa, special. Hey, you know what? I actually saw that game at an indie like game party in Seattle when it was coming out for PC, I want to say, right? It came out for Steam.
Okay.
I think it came out, for Steam or PC first. And I remember seeing it projected on the wall or something at a weird little club and going like, oh, wow, that looks so weird and cool. And then I also played it on PS4 later. So I enjoyed that game. That was really fun and cute.
Very cute, very cute. Okay, so that was my next game. Carlos, let's go to your number 7.
This one has an asterisk.
Oh, another asterisk. Take the PS5 out of it.
No. This one, I think. Shit. Will it really? Maybe it will change it with the PS5. Okay, well, here's what I'll say. My number 7 in this list is Watch Dogs 2.
Okay.
Now, Watch Dogs I love. I've always... Well, okay. The first Watch Dogs I enjoyed, but it was like kind of broken and fucked up.
It was kind of bad. We can say it was kind of bad.
Yeah, and it was misleading because what you saw of the original game or the trailers and stuff wasn't that same graphics. Also, Aiden is such a shit character and no one really cared about him. But Watch Dogs 2 was an open world game that I really cared about because the characters you cared about more. You were in San Francisco, and I've mentioned this on the show, but I lived there for a long time, so to see all that stuff created one for one was really awesomely done. And just really enjoyed that kind of game. I mean, that's if it's not first person melee open world / RPG, then it's third person open world. That's like some of my favorite shit. So I enjoyed it really a lot. Played it, beat all the DLC, did everything for that game. And the asterisk was because I just started playing Watch Dogs Legion. And yes, on the PS5 it does look ridiculous.
So it is again, take the PS5 out of it again.
But no, you know what? I'm going to take it out. I'm editing myself along with your help because I think now that I've finished Watch Dogs Legion, I still like Watch Dogs 2 overall better. Like how
story-wise or gameplay-wise?
Yeah, kind of everything because I feel like it all kind of came together better. And Watch Dogs Legion was really cool and just a different experience. And it definitely has like, you know, fighting the fascist regime and fighting cops and authority. But it's done. Watch Dogs 2 is done in a kind of more chill way, and I just had more fun playing Watch Dogs 2.
Interesting.
If that makes sense. Like Watch Dogs Legion was kind of heavy, and I was like, whoa. Yes. So we'll take that asterisk away again, and it's just Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs 2. That is a favorite of a lot of people, so I can easily see why you picked that one for sure. Let's see. My next game, in no particular order, is one that we talked about at length when it came out. Death Stranding. I think I'm going to choose that one.
Oh.
So I do have an asterisk with this one, but it has nothing to do with the PS5. My asterisk is that I think the story in Death Stranding is absolute garbage. We talked about this. I think the story is awful. Hideo Kojima absolutely needs script help, and he absolutely needs an editor. He needs people to bounce his ideas off. If you took a dried piece of dog shit and set it on fire and listened to the crackling, that would tell you a better story than Death Stranding does.
Oh my goodness.
I hate the story in Death Stranding, but I'm choosing it because I think the gameplay is like fucking amazing. Like I love how it plays. I love the focus on a lot of non-combat, just like schlepping boxes from point A to point B. Seems crazy and boring, but I had so many wonderful zen moments of like climbing a mountain or seeing some beautiful vista at the top of a valley or just going through a forest or something. Just the mechanics I think were really great, like balancing the thing on your back and watching out for the toxic rain. And beyond that, the integration of the community aspects I think was really like next level, where the number of people playing contributed to the world that you were in. So if more people took the route that you took, the route became easier to go on, and it changed the physical landscape. I mean, that's pretty fucking genius.
That
dude.
stuff was so cool.
Super genius. Like, you know, I don't think Kojima can write his way out of a paper bag, but I give that dude props for being a mechanical design genius. Like, his gameplay elements are just off the hook. Like, I mean, nobody does gameplay like Kojima. So I give him props. And because of that, I do choose Death Stranding because, story aside, I just had the best time just playing that game. Like driving that motorcycle on an open field, grassy plain, bringing a box to somebody, just going back and forth. It seems like so weird and boring, but man, I had the best time playing it. So I'm going to stick with Death Stranding, even though I do have a lot of caveats with it.
Yeah, it almost made my list because of that point where we both, when we talked about it in the show, we were just so excited about the experience. And like you said, the other players affecting the world and just the weirdness of it and the desolate area that you're going to. And just it's crazy. We have like experiences and moments from that game, but it's not on my list.
Yeah. No, I mean I hear you though, and I don't begrudge anybody who doesn't choose it. I think there's a lot of reason for it to not be on anybody's list. But I think those moments that you mentioned, those moments for me were strong enough, and it was so different and so unique that I had to choose it. So
All right.
there we go. So that is me, Carlos. Let's go to your number 6. What you got?
Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh, okay. That's the boys' day out, right?
Boys' day out in their car, having fun, going and driving around. I think hitting on girls, maybe. Was that lady in the mechanic or whatever? Yeah. Maybe.
I never played it. I cannot say.
Okay. There's a mechanic and she's like scantily dressed. It's kind of weird. Besides that, Final Fantasy 15, love the action, love again, third person RPGs. I just love this game to death. Again, something similar where I played 100 plus hours, beat it, then kept playing it. And right now, I might go back to it because they just released a PS5, I think it's PS4 and PS5 version, where they've added all the DLC, which I don't think I actually played one of the DLCs. And they added a first-person mode for part of it, which is
Really?
crazy. Yeah, and then they also added a dungeon so that if I restarted it, you can go right to the ending of the game, beat it, and then play all the DLC. So I might go back, but I digress. The reason I like it is because, yeah, the real-time action in the RPG is fantastic. It's like...
Did you have a hammer?
I didn't have a hammer this time. No, but remember, this is Final Fantasy. You're playing lots of characters, so you don't just play one character. You sometimes do, but lots of times you're switching back and forth. So, yeah, it's just done well. I mean, it was so beautiful. Again, PS4, I think PS4 Pro, and looked amazing, played amazing. The ending was one of my favorite Final Fantasy endings ever. I won't say a spoiler about it, but just how literally the last scene was fantastic. I love it. I love it to death. I love it so much that I might go back and play it, which I don't do for RPGs, but there's enough there that I might actually do it.
Let me ask you a question. So I've never played this one. I kind of fell out of JRPGs a while ago because I just felt like they were just too full of stuffing and they take too long, and I kind of lost interest in them. I got tired of a lot of the tropes too, but I have heard a lot of people pick this one as one that they really enjoyed, and it does seem to really be off the beaten path as far as earlier Final Fantasies go. I will say I was considering playing it a while ago, but one thing that stopped me was I heard a lot of people talking about like a late game dungeon, and I don't have a lot of details, but it was like you were in a prison or something like that, and I heard a lot of people say it was like an absolutely like hellish experience, and when I heard that, I was like, well, maybe I'm not going to play this then. Do you remember that? Was it a problem for you? Is that a barrier or not? No big deal? Or what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember the prison. I might have like blocked it out of my memory because it was something I didn't like. But I will say this: near the end, there is some kind of like changing of the way it feels and the way you're playing the game. Literally, I wish I could do a spoiler, but I won't. But one of the characters has a really big thing happen to them, and this is another reason I like it because I thought it was just going to be like, oh, I had to talk vague here. It's like some little big life event for, one of the characters. But it's a life event for the character that actually affected gameplay. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So near the end, it got really different, I would say. But I think that's a strong suit. I wouldn't say it's a negative thing.
Okay. Well, I don't have the specifics. I just heard, like, at the time that it was out, a lot of people were, like, having some real sour stomach over it. So it kind of spooked me a little bit. But maybe I'll come to it. Maybe once I get a PS5 or something. Maybe I'll get it on sale or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Final Fantasy 15. My next pick, again, in no particular order, I think I'm going to have to choose Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun. This is a turn-based squad tactical action, somewhat in the vein of like an XCOM, but not really, because you have a very specific group of ninja and samurai that you're using, and the levels in this game are absolutely huge. They're really intricate. They're very difficult, and the difficulty level of this game is pretty high. It's pretty steep, but they do a quick restart thing, which is great. You can save as much as you want. But the thing that really made this game stand out to me was like each character had a different set of powers, and like trying to figure out which ones worked best in which situation was wonderful. And on top of that, there was a system where you could set up your characters. I think you had 5 at the most. You could set up all of them to do a different action, and then you could hit a button and all of those actions could happen at the same time. So it wasn't just a matter of taking a turn and then taking a turn and taking a turn. I mean, you could do that, but in some situations, for example, there'd be like 2 guards, and there'd be like a guy in a watchtower, and there'd be somebody that was going to ring a bell or something. And so you had to like get them all at the same time. And the intricacy of like taking all of your squad, lining them all up in different places and having them all do something different. One ninja's going to, fire an arrow. One guy's going to throw a shuriken. One guy's going to stab somebody. And then you hit a button and it all goes off at the same time. Set up some really, really interesting situations tactically. And I thought it brought a kind of flavor of gameplay that I haven't really experienced not very often, maybe like once or twice before, but that kind of gameplay doesn't come up too often because I think it's really difficult to do. And Shadow Tactics did it amazingly. And the story also was quite good. There was a number of really emotional pieces. Dialogue was great. I really felt like I had a good team of characters and not just like random grunts on my team, like I really appreciated they took some time to illustrate the humanity of these characters. So Shadow Tactics to me was wonderful. Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun. Okay, so that was Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun. Carlos, what is your number 5?
Ooh, I think I'm picking Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that is an open world game again. Guess what? Surprise. I like open world games. This is, one of the most realized open worlds. It just felt so real. Again, before PS5's Valhalla, which feels very real. But at the time, it was unbelievable. I love how they do the music. When they bring the music in certain scenes, it's just so epic. And the world just felt like a living, breathing world you wanted to be in. And the Old West is fun. And the story was intense. And you got to really care about your settlers, your village that you kind of build up. And the people that go on the missions with you. And when people die, which spoilers some do, you feel bad. And then without saying too much of a spoiler, the ending is like not a happy ending. And that's very interesting, and I like that. And then you've probably heard the rumors, but there's like a game after the game. Do you know about that part?
I don't know anything about it unless you're talking about the online stuff.
No. There is it's basically like another campaign after the game's over.
Oh, okay.
And it's really crazy because I don't want to spoil it, but it's something really, really cool where you're like, oh, the credits rolled, but I'm going to play another game now. It's insane. So I fucking love this game, and it's just so realistic, and I love how the NPCs reacted to things you did to them, or like it's just the world felt alive, and the animals, etc. So the only thing that's bad about this game, and I know we're not supposed to do that because these are top games, but the horses would run into trees, and come on. Come on. Besides that.
Excellent. I've actually never played Red Dead Redemption 2, so I can't say anything about it. I was somewhat interested because I played most of the first Red Dead Redemption, but it just was like too long, and it got to the Mexico part, and I'm like, oh, this is a drag, and I kind of didn't finish it. And I heard a lot of people say that this one was like even longer, and that traversal was like really long, and it seemed like people liked it, but at the same time, they didn't do a lot of concessions towards quality of life, and that's really like the zone that I live in these days. Is like any game that I really get into has to have a really good quality of life because of life. So I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to it. I mean, a lot of people like it. I'm interested in the Western theme, but have not dipped a toe in yet.
Okay, well, it'll be there when you're ready.
It'll be there. Maybe on a PS5. Who knows? PS5 upgraded, up-resed version. We'll see. Next game for me, I think I'm going to choose Hitman as a series, Hitman 1 and 2. I love Hitman. Hitman is great. Probably one of my favorite series of all time. Taking Agent 47, the bald-headed assassin with the UPC code on the back of his neck, and going into all these different levels to kill people is just phenomenal. I don't know of anybody else in the industry that does games like this. And it's not even like really that violent. It's more about puzzles and trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B, or how to do something without being seen. It's about figuring out the little moving pieces of a level. It's about studying things and figuring out what goes where and where the cracks in the foundation are and how you can work your way in. And apart from that, Hitman has a phenomenal sense of humor, which is something that people don't really seem to know. I mean, people who play Hitman know, but people on the outside looking in are like, "Oh, this looks dark and grim, and you're killing people, and I don't want to kill people. That seems really mean-spirited." But it's such a funny game. There are so many laugh-out-loud moments. There's so much silliness and lightness to this game. So yeah, you are a Hitman. Yeah, you're killing people, but some of the stuff is just so redonkulous. I can't help but crack up. So I think the PS4 entries are the best the series has ever been, and I love them to death. Hitman 1 and 2 on PS4 is fantastic.
I think we've talked about it before on the show, but I definitely have my issues with the new series, and I'm one of the weirdos who likes Blood Money. Is that the action one?
Blood? No, you like. I know what you're talking about. You like the bad one.
I like the bad one. Yeah,
you like the bad one. I can't remember what it's called. It's. I know what you're talking about though. Yes.
It's like an action-y kind of game, and I'm like,
yes,
this is fun. Yeah.
You like the worst Hitman that's ever been. Yes,
yeah, I sure do. Yeah, I sure do. And if anybody listening
Absolution.
also likes
I think
it,
it's Absolution.
Okay, yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah, and if you like that, please message me on Twitter ON8WA and say you're not wrong. It's really fun.
All right, moving on. Carlos, what is your number 4?
God of War. For war. God of War. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm drinking, Jack Daniels. So
we know what you're talking about. We got you.
Anyways, God of War. Come on, it's got to be on everybody's list. I think. I don't know if it's on your list.
It is not on my list.
Ooh,
not even close.
It's not even close.
Not even close.
Okay, well, I did enjoy it quite a bit. I love the reboot. I love the world that existed. The whole telling the story. The son experience was really interesting. Having a virtual son. What? You're laughing?
I was just laughing because you said the son, and I just thought of him going, "Boy!" like he did.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting is that and this is not saying too much, but like you go through different things with that kid as his father, and like at some point he doesn't listen to you. Like it's a minor spoiler, but he's like, normally you're just like telling him all these things, like you're the wise old God of War dad. But then at some point he's like, fuck you, and he doesn't listen to you. And I was like, wow, this is an interesting experience I'm getting out of a game where like I'm really frustrated with my son and I wish he would listen to me. And then there's a really cool like surprise thing at the end and really good voice acting, just well done. And at the time, again, on PS4, it just looked beautiful. So overall, really, really fun adventure game. Some of the fighting got a little frustrating near the end, but really, really cool. That hammer thing, the
axe.
The axe that comes back to you.
Yeah.
Just really, really, really cool mechanic, and a ton of other games like copy them after that. So, yeah, I think it had to be on my list because it was a pretty powerful moment for me to go through that experience and with the graphics, with the story, but also with like this relationship with a kid, which I didn't expect to get out of a game.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a lot to like. I mean, my quick take on that game is I think there is a very wonderful 10-hour game in that 30-hour experience. Like, I think that it was just too long, too bloated. I think there's a lot of good stuff, but I think it kind of got caught up in the AAA development, and just going big maybe wasn't the right way to go. But I understand why people like it, and I do think there are some very cool parts to it. So, not on my list, though.
All right.
Next pick for me is going to be extremely controversial. I bet this is the one that I think most people are going to think I'm completely Looney Tunes for, but I will absolutely stand by this one until the end. Metal Gear Survive, I think, is a wonderful experience.
You are Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people don't like it, but I'll tell you why. This game takes the mechanics that Kojima pioneered, and as we just discussed earlier on the Death Stranding segment, I mean, he knows his mechanics, right? So the team that was working with him kept this game going, have the same mechanics. So it's still a lot of the quality gameplay, but recontextualizing it as a survival game really works, and it shows how strong those elements are. I think the story was fine. It was just very straightforward, and I think it was comprehensible, which is not always true of Kojima games, so I appreciated that I could understand what was going on. And also, the feeling of having a base and building up that base and finding people, rescuing people, bringing them back to your base and building up your home base was amazing. Like, I felt such a good feeling of ownership in what I was building up. and the feeling of going out to these places to have these near death escapes, dodging zombies, bringing back a survivor, running for your life. There was like so many exciting aspects of it, and I felt like it was a perfect balance between actiony but not pure action, and survival and crafting but not too much of that. Like it was like right in the sweet spot where I felt like everything was exactly the way it needed to be. And I know this game got totally shit upon when it came out by all the Metal Gear fans and the haters and stuff, but this game did not get enough credit for what it did right, and I feel like it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. I loved it. I had a great time, so I stand by this one as one of my favorite PS4 titles.
I will say this in your defense: when I did play it, I remember going like, "Well, this is more Metal Gear than people are giving it credit for."
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like as soon as I started playing, I was like expecting this action game where I'm running around doing like all this like killing of zombies. It's not that at all.
No.
It's very much like set up a base and do these kind of strategy things that you would do in Metal Gear. I don't know why people didn't talk about that more. So I also didn't care for it, but I did. You know, it's more Metal Gear than people think.
I agree. Okay, let's see. Carlos, this brings us to your... Ooh, we're getting close to the end here. Your number 3.
All right, here we're in the top 3. And,
top 3.
Let's do this. My voice is going to change now.
Getting deeper and more gravelly, so you know we're serious. Yes, exactly.
Or I've been drinking more. Number 3, which easily could be a number 1, Greedfall.
Greedfall. Ooh, I was just reading up on the new version and some new DLC coming for Greedfall.
Ooh, I will be playing that for sure. And they're working on their next game right now. I think they are far in development on it. I don't know. You can check me on that. But Greedfall, oh my goodness, Spiders, is that right?
Spiders, yes, that French studio.
Oh, I love them to death. And we've talked about it on the show many times. Very, very cool, again, third-person RPG, yes. There's a theme. Yes, I played Melee. Yes, I hit things with a big stick, probably. I forgot what my weapon was in that game, but you do have to actually shoot in that game sometimes. So there's actually like muskets and stuff, but really fun. There's all these factions, and you basically can pledge allegiances to different factions, and they can help you out later in the game. So there's kind of multiple endings as well as multiple paths through the RPG. It's a really believable world in the fact that it's this mix of fantasy and realistic from that time period. And in general, I did find like some native type people, and it was really fun to align with them. And essentially, I think I told you on the show that I aligned just with them at the end of the game.
I do recall that, yes.
It was like, your alliance is unfavorable. And then it was like, with the natives, very favorable. So yeah, I liked how I got to align with the group that I wanted to align with. And I feel like I really role-played that game. So a fantastic RPG. If you haven't played it, I think it's like $8 or something now. For some reason, it's on sale. Don't quote me on that. It's not $8, but it's cheap-ish. And it's fantastic, and you'll spend tons of hours in it.
I dipped a toe into it. Unfortunately, it got released when I was in the middle of a lot of review commitments, and so I didn't have a lot of time, but I did try like the first, 2 hours of it. I really liked what I saw. I really want to get back to it. I'm a big fan of spiders. And this thing is totally right up my alley. Like, it's kind of Euro-janky. It's kind of freeform. It's got this weird theme. I like everything I saw. I just need to make some time for it. So I definitely want to get back to it. But there is a PS5 version on the way, and I believe there's also going to be some new content for it as well. So maybe people who have not played it yet can maybe check it out on the PS5. And I think I have seen it on sale multiple times for the PS4. So you can get into it pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, just it has Elex vibes all over it. So
absolutely. And that's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here. My next pick... one that got really overshadowed when it released. It picked the worst possible day in the world to release. I choose Mad Max as one of my favorite experiences on PS4.
Yes.
I love Mad Max, coming from Avalanche. You know, it's not based on the film that everybody loves. You're not going to have Charlize Theron or anything in there, but using the same IP, the same idea of this guy being out in the wasteland, building up a car. You have a buddy who rides around with you, and you're just like in this desert, and the desert is gorgeous. The weather effects are gorgeous. The world is just like awesome to drive through. There's so much great action on foot, in your car. It's just a really, really well put together game, and I thought it was just fun as hell to play. I really loved what they did with it, and very true to the concept of the IP. Unfortunately, it released exactly on the day that Metal Gear Solid 5 released, and everybody in the world wanted to play a Metal Gear Solid 5. So most people did not buy Mad Max because they only could buy one game, and they bought Metal Gear Solid 5. And all the people in the review sphere who had to review Mad Max got real salty because they wanted to be playing Metal Gear Solid 5, so they rushed through Mad Max as quick as they could. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Scurry, scurry, scurry. Just get through it. And they were all super bitter and sour because they were rushing through, like a 20, 30-hour game in one weekend so they could get to Metal Gear Solid 5. Most of the reviews do not give it props for what it does well. It got a real bum rush, and I'm very sad about that because Mad Max, I think, is pretty fucking awesome.
It's pretty awesome. I forgot about that. I actually totally forgot about it from my list, but I would put it in at least my top 20 and top 15 even. It's really good. It's like surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's shockingly good. I think it's great. So, Carlos, that brings us to your number 2.
Oh my goodness! I just realized I forgot a game.
Oh my god! Well, you got some honorable mentions, don't you?
Yeah, I have one honorable mention, and I'll put it in there. So my full list already done. Number 2 is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Wow, really? I'm surprised.
Really? Why are you surprised? It's a fantastic game.
No, it's not. But I'm surprised. I don't remember you talking about it that much. Did we talk about it, or was this before you were on the show?
Hold on, I'm gonna rewind for a minute. Did you say no? It's not.
Yeah, it's not a great game.
Oh, so we didn't talk about it on the show then.
We must not have talked about it on the show.
We would have hit this conflict. I can't even talk because I'm so angry.
Spitting fire already.
Wow. Okay, we'll take that offline, as they say.
That's fine. We'll do a Skype afterwards. Separate Skype.
I really enjoyed it. Now I'll tell you a reason why you might not think of why it's awesome as well, and it matches something that Greedfall did. Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, I really enjoyed the action adventure world that existed. I won't say RPG. I don't feel like it was that. I felt like it was more of an action-y game where you fought robot dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And again, at the time, I think it was PS4 Pro. It just was fucking beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
And
Showcase for sure.
Showcase for sure. The world was great to live in and be in. Different biomes, right? Snowy and jungly and all that stuff. And me being the melee action guy, I never did a lot of the stuff the reviewers did, where they use the hiding and the stealth. I just would level up every spear I could find and then just hit things. So for me, it was more of an action game, and I really just did a lot of combat. But the main reason it's on my list is because it was an interesting juxtaposition of the story about the future, and it's like the future, post-apocalyptic, but it's all nature. But then there's a flashbacks to the other future. So I know I'm getting confusing, but basically if it's 2020 now, Horizon Zero Dawn takes place in, let's say, 3020, and they flash back to 2100 or something, right? So you see our future. Oh, I think I've made this worse.
I think we get the gist. I mean, there's juxtaposition of time periods back and forth.
Oh,
I mean, we get what you're saying. We get you.
Time is a construct. So anyways, I just liked how they jumped back and forth and showed old memories, and it kind of got you more invested in the character because you learn a lot more about, where she came from and what the plight was. But then the best part is the DLC is similar to Native Americans.
It was the wintertime DLC, right? The frozen thing?
Yeah, and it basically felt like you were going to meet in a native tribe, and some people go oh, that's what's the word for it? Appropriation. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they just took cues on a native type culture, and then they made a fictitious one, and I think it felt great. For me, it felt like something that would be, exist, and that you could go talk to the wise old woman, and I don't know, it's just really cool. So it kind of extended my love for that game. But yeah, in general, it was beautiful. And I really did enjoy where the story went to, especially after the DLC.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a very popular one. I know a lot of people really like that one a lot, so that makes sense. Let's see. My next pick, second to last pick, and again, these are in no particular order. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat, so maybe a little bit of an asterisk. I'm going to pick Yakuza as a series because you can now actually play the entire series on PS4. And I actually would recommend it, even though that's a huge undertaking. I mean, hundreds of hours of game there. But this is one of the few series where it really does matter about the story. Like the characters, how they grow over time, the events that happen. And if you play one through 7 or whatever it is, that's maybe there's 8. I'm not sure exactly. Like it really grows and changes. Like the time you put in really pays off. And every time you get a new game, they call back to things that happened in the past, and you remember why certain characters behave a certain way because of something you did 2 games ago. And it ties together in a way that I think almost no other games do, especially over that length of time. A lot of games can have 1 or 2 game arc of story, but this is like I think the original arc is like 7 games, and each game is like monumentally huge. And the writing, I think, is really great. So I love the Yakuza series, and I picked them all because you can play them for the first time now on PS4, where originally it was like the first 2 games were on PS2, and then there was a couple that were on PS3, and then there's a couple on PS4, and if they weren't backwards compatible for a while, and all this nonsense. But now I think they've done their homework. The series has really taken off after being kind of a niche kind of thing for many years. It's reached the popularity that I think it deserves, and now everything's been upgraded and remastered and remade, and you can get the whole schmear on PS4. So I'm playing Like a Dragon right now, and God, I don't know how these developers keep doing it, because I thought I was done with the series, and I tried Like a Dragon, and I'm like, God damn it, I sucked me right back in. These games are so fucking good. It's so good.
It's like what was it? Oh my goodness, I'm trying to think of that movie. Goodfellas. Is it good? Not Goodfellas. Godfather 3, where Al Pacino goes, I try to get out, but then they pull me back in.
That is exactly it. I thought I was out, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do another Yakuza, but then I'm like, well, maybe. Once I heard it was turn-based, and they sucked me back in.
Yeah.
So anyway, Yakuza as a series, I think, is a great experience, and a pretty singular experience, too. I don't know that there's very many games out there anywhere that are like Yakuza, so definitely recommend that. Which brings us to Carlos. Your number 1 PS4 game.
Well, it shouldn't be a surprise, should it?
I don't know. What is it?
You want to guess?
I gotta be honest, dude. I don't know.
It's The Witcher 3.
Okay, all right. That is a good choice. Gosh, because that is also my. This is the one I was going to talk about next, too.
Really? It's your number 1? Or are you the next one?
Not my number 1, but I did save the one that I liked a lot for last, so I think we're talking about the same game at the same time.
Well, we didn't plan that. Yeah, I mean, what is it, 200 hours I played? I played a weird number of hours in this game.
It's a lot of hours.
All the DLC. Played all the DLC, every single second of it. Kept playing it after that. It was a very good game. Right now, in my opinion, Valhalla looks better, is similar, but The Witcher 3 is not just for its graphics, as you'll probably talk about soon. The stories are so cool and so interesting, and all the side missions, I'll say most of the side missions, were whole little stories unto themselves that you really cared about, and they weren't just fetch quests like go get me some flowers for some fucking stew. They were like, oh, there's a ghost, and it has an unrequited love, and there's a whole fucking melodrama happening here. Fucking fantastic. I mean, there's not really much to say about it.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much is hip to The Witcher right now. I mean, I think a lot of people have played it. Of course, it's available on other platforms, and the TV series, and there's books and everything. I mean, I love The Witcher. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time, like you said. And I tried Witcher 2, I kind of liked it, didn't really get into it. I wasn't sure I was going to like Witcher 3, but man, the gameplay improvements are pretty monumental over Witcher 2. But like you said, it's all about the story, right? Like Geralt of Rivia is a wonderful character, like Yennefer and Triss and all the rest of the cast are great characters. I mean, like you said, every side quest was worth doing. I didn't do like every little question mark on the map, because that's like a jillion question marks on a giant map, but I did every quest that had story attached to it, and I thought it was like absolutely worth the time. Like, I am Mr. Short Game, but like I think I was pretty close to 200 hours as well, and it just, every minute of it was like, I want more of this. Like, I love being in this world, I love doing these quests, I love what's happening. I mean, just start to finish, just monumental experience. I loved being with this cast, and I'm very, very grateful that I played it, and I think it's just, it pretty much stands alone. It's a real accomplishment.
Yeah, and there's something that happens that we can't spoil near the end that was really fantastic and different. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Like the very unusual, world-changing kind of thing that happens near the end?
I mean, maybe yes, maybe no. If you're talking about something related to the ending, that is something that's probably my only criticism of Witcher 3, was how they figured out what ending you got. I felt like was kind of horseshit.
No.
So,
I meant the thing that had to do with Siri and her like specialness.
oh yeah, that was very cool. That was all very good. Yeah, my only complaint about The Witcher was like it was way too easy to get like a bad ending, which was interesting because it wasn't just a bad ending. I mean, there was weird stuff that happened, but at the same time, after putting in 200 hours, I wanted the good ending. Okay, that's what I wanted, and so I was a
Yeah.
little bit salty about that. But other than that, great game.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and also made me enjoy this series that much more because I was like, I love this world. I want to watch more of it. So,
Yeah, super
highly
good.
recommend that series as well.
There we go. All right, folks, that is my 10 games of the PS4. That is Carlos's top 10. I think we have a pretty good selection of stuff, but we have one more thing to get to before we go.
Wait.
What?
I have my two runners.
Oh, you have honorable mentions. Okay, let's hear that. Honorable mentions.
Well, one I forgot, Rage 2.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was your favorite game for a long time.
And I still love it. It's so fun, and people will sleep on it, and the fucking, oh my goodness, the shooting is amazing in it. So Rage 2, back up. Also, Cyberpunk, because I'm going to be playing it on my PS4 in December, so it's still this year.
So you could potentially, at December 31st, go back to this list and be like, you know what, cancel. I got to get one of these off of here because it's possible.
Yep.
That Cyberpunk may boot one of those off of your list. Okay,
Easily.
I get that.
Yeah. That's it. That's my only caveat.
Excellent. Okay, I had a couple also rans, but I'm like, that's fine. I was whatever. We're gonna let it go. We're gonna spend time on that. I could have alternates forever. So
I know. Yeah.
Let's get to the listener votes. Fans, listeners, Twitter people, everybody who responded to my ask about your favorite PS4 games. Drowning in your responses. I don't think I've ever gotten so many responses to a question. Clearly, a lot of people have strong feelings about the PS4. A lot of you listeners wanted to chip in. Thank you all very much. At first, I was going to give you all a named thanks, but dude, there's no way. I don't have time to list off more than 500 people who chipped in to give us their responses. Before we get to the top picks, Carlos, would you like to take a guess as to what the top PS4 game was, not chosen by you or me, but chosen by the listeners and our Twitter followers, because the number one choice was number one by a fucking mile. There was no other game that was even close to it in terms of number of votes. What do you think they chose?
Oh, wow. I think I was looking for a little while, but I can't. Wait, Fortnite doesn't count, does it?
No.
Okay.
No one said Fortnite.
What did they say?
Da-da-da-da-da.
I don't think I'm not even going to take a stab at it. Just tell me.
It's funny because I don't think that I would have guessed it either, but the number one choice chosen by listeners, Twitter people, everybody who's a fan of Video Games, by a mile, Bloodborne. Number one choice.
Ooh, okay, that makes sense.
By like a jillion votes. Like so many people. I was honestly shocked. I knew that there was going to be like the Souls contingent of people that would be repping it, but man, like that is everybody's favorite PS4 game. Hands down.
By the way, if it is, and you know how much I don't like Souls games, but I heard it's very beautiful as well. Maybe I go back and just look at it, or no?
No, it's
Okay.
not even worth looking at, dude.
Okay.
I don't even think it's that good looking. I don't think it
Oh,
is.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I played Bloodborne, finished it. I like parts of it, but I also have a lot of problems with it. It's not my favorite experience at all. So I get people like it though. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff to it. So I can see why they chose it, but not as we just heard, not even on my top 10. So next one down, second choice, God of War, which you chose.
Good pick.
That one got a good number of votes. So that's number 2. The next ones are kind of in clusters. A lot of these had like the exact same number of votes. So I'm just going to read these off and we'll just kind of like all put them in the same basket. The next 2 together down the list are Nier Automata and The Last Guardian. Both of those got the exact same amount of votes.
Automata almost made my list.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling Automata. Did you play The Last Guardian?
I didn't play Last Guardian. I mean, I played it a long time ago, but...
Man, The Last Guardian was very close to my top 10 just because of how the AI of the monster works. It's pretty fucking amazing, but didn't make the list. But I can see why people picked that. So those were the next ones down. Let's see. There's one. The next cluster of games, all had the same votes. So we had The Last of Us Part 2, Persona 5, The Outer Wilds, and Ghost of Tsushima, which I think is probably skating by because it's brand new.
Yeah, and at the time, again, before PS5 and ray tracing, it was, the most fantastic looking game on PS4. So Outer Wilds, though, interesting. Not Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds
No,
was
it was
also very
Outer.
good.
Yeah, Outer Wilds, and I'm glad you brought that up because that is a different one. People getting confused. The one you liked was the Outer Worlds, which was like the first-person RPG-ish game. Outer Wilds is the one where it's like a roguelike sci-fi narrative game where you're trying to discover why the universe is collapsing. Totally different experiences. They're almost exactly the same name, which is very confusing for a lot of people. I was also surprised, honestly, to see that Last of Us 2 was so much higher up on the list than Last of Us 1. And again, I think probably better graphics and it's newer. I really don't think it's a better game, but not my choice, not my list. That's what the readers and listeners and participants chose. The last group of games, again, that we're going to end on this, they all basically had the same amount of votes here. Death Stranding, Hitman, Horizon Zero Dawn, Metal Gear Solid 5, No Man's Sky, Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, Uncharted 4, and Yakuza 0. Those were all kind of in the same basket. So those were the picks. Any feelings on those, Carlos?
No, all good picks. By the way, you mentioned Persona earlier, and Persona 5 almost made the list too. I really did like it, but it got a little long for me. I mean, that game is so many hours, but I really did like that. And yeah, some of the ones that we picked, both of us are on that list.
Yeah. So pretty good list here. Good. It's interesting too because I think that a lot of the listener picks are ones that I think are PS4 exclusives. Many of these on the list are PS4 exclusives, which makes sense. I totally get that. And a lot of them I think are a lot of AAA stuff on here too. So that makes sense as well. I think you and I both maybe we enjoy our AAA, but I don't think that we are particularly like devotees of AAA. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, and I mean we play Switch games, we play indie games, I play always the weird ass fucking Steam games. But yeah, it's just whatever kind of resonates with us. Last time for me, though, especially on these PS4, I definitely played some indie games that could have made close to a top 10. But the reason why for me personally, and maybe why some of the listeners also put that on their list, is how many hours you get out of a game, you know?
True, very true.
Like, we don't want that to be padding, and we've talked about it in the show before. We don't want, like, a game to get padding of 30, 40 hours just to be longer. But when it does it in the natural way that it would, then it's memorable to us. You know, we've been in that world for a very long time, and I think that's why it makes our list more than a cool experience or something.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. Okay, well, that is it. We got my top 10. We got your top 10. We got the listeners' top 10. I think those are a great spectrum of games to choose from. I think anybody who perhaps wants to catch up on some of these will be in for some really great experiences. And I think this was a good way to close out quote unquote, close out the PS4 era. I mean, new games are still coming. I still don't have PS5, so don't close it just yet. But I think we are transitioning, and I think this is a good way to send it off. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and all those are great picks. Anybody listening to any of those games, go buy one of them, at least, if you can.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that is it for this special show. But before we go, as usual, we want your questions and comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We are on Twitter as a show, @SoVideoGames, but you can reach us individually. Carlos, where can people find you this week?
YouTube.com/a-lot-of-things, and that's where you'll find that video under A Lot of Games, which is where I'm painstakingly going through and making this list and drinking alcohol. So go youtube.com/a-lot-of-things.
Excellent. As for me, same as always, BRADGALLAWAY, all A's, no O's, on Twitter, on Instagram. And next week, we will be back with a regularly scheduled show, although I do want to give you a heads up that very near in the future, we are going to be doing our best game stories of all time. Another strong response from the listeners. Another one where I had to recruit my wife to help me write them all down because we got so many responses. Really, really happy that we've been having so much interaction with the fans lately. So that's great. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about then, but you can look forward to a regular show next time. And it's probably going to be a jam-packed one. I don't know about you, Carlos. I've been playing a shitload of games that we got to talk about.
Yeah, I have like at least 5 in the hopper, as they say.
It's going to be ridiculous. So join us for episode 209 next time. But for now, that's it for the show. We'll be back before you know it. This is Bye from Brad.
And see you later, Mr. Alligator, from Carlos Rodella.
Smooth.